Hello, and welcome to the weekly service for Between the Worlds Church. I'm Reverend Gina Pond, and I welcome you to our mid-online service. This week, today, we're going to be doing a Eucharist during the service. So if you would like to participate, you need to get a small cup of a fluid of your choice and a small bread-like thing of your choice. Doesn't have to be wheat. I mean, I have a little heart-shaped cracker here, but it could be whatever you can safely eat, gluten-y or not. Heck, it could even be like Jolly Ranchers for all whatever works for you. Also, I apologize for the lack of audio podcasts for the last service. I just haven't gotten around to getting it up yet. And also for the next, so I had this idea a couple of years ago, but I figured I'd actually do it here. And I thought it'd be good to do this year is that, we have an Advent season for Christmas. And for me, Samhain, the Wiccan holiday for the ancestors, is just as important to me as Christmas. But we don't really kind of prepare ourselves for the holiday. A lot of people just kind of do it. So I'm kind of doing an Advent of sorts for Samhain. So the next 4 weeks leading up to Samhain, I will be doing, all my sermons will have a particular topic around death and dying. And it'll prepare us for Samhain when we honor the ancestors and mourn the dead of the coming year. Also, if there's folks that you want to be honored during the Samhain service that we will have, because Samhain is on a Wednesday this year, so I will be doing a special Samhain live service. If there is someone you would like to add to the list of the names of the dead, then please send me a note to let me know. Okay. All right. So welcome to the weekly service for Between the Worlds Church. Between the Worlds Church, Wiccan Christian Church, is intentionally radically inclusive, and we welcome all persons of any race, color, age, ancestry, sexual or relationship orientation, body size, gender, religion, or any other difference. We respect each other and remember that all of our beliefs are equally valid in the eyes of spirit. We love all the deities that are represented in our virtual congregation, and we include Jesus in our spiritual practice, however he may come to us. Spirits of the east, of air, may we always gain new knowledge and the resources to recognize our truth. Spirits of the south, of fire, may we always call on our passion to drive us and to do the work that Spirit has called us to do. Spirits of the west, of water, may we always remember to acknowledge the feelings of others and find our compassion. Spirits of the north, of earth, may we always remember that no matter who we are part of the earth, and that we are made from earth, and we will go back to earth. Spirits of the center, that which we are, may we always hold each other up through the bad and the good in any way we are called and able to serve. And for these services, as we talk about death, I would like to call in Jesus, whose death changed the world, and Hecate, who stands at the gates of death and teaches us how to live with and how to mourn the death of ourselves and others. So today, if you'd like any prayers said for you, or if you have permission from somebody else to have prayers said for them, you can post that now in chat, or say it to yourself quietly. I'm especially praying for those who are facing the death of loved ones, that are facing their own death. May they face it with grace, and may they have dignity in their last hours. And may may those who are helping others through the process of dying get the care and support that they need. I also pray for all those who are victims of sexual assault, who, because it's been a rough few weeks for you and me and everybody else who has been a victim of some sort of sexual assault. I also send prayers out to you that you get the care and the compassion that you need. Spirits of the universe, hear our prayers for those who are facing death and for those who are reliving nightmares. May you guide them and help them find the care and the love that they need in this difficult time. Okay. So I don't really have a scripture to read, and you'll find out why when I go through the sermons. So I'm just going to start because when I was writing this, I was thinking of a couple of years ago when I actually really started thinking about my own mortality. I'd read some science fiction book. It was kind of it was set in the near future, and for some reason, it just suddenly clicked in my brain that, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to live to see that future happen, because by the time of that time frame, I'll be long gone. It was set in like 21 something, 2100 something. And it was, and it's funny because, like, my vocation is working with death and dying and working around death and dying and working with grieving. And, and I thought I'd kind of had, yeah, I thought I'd kind of had, I thought I had it all around together, uh, around death and dying. Like, I'd seen my aunt die and I had these visions, and, death wasn't really something I was super afraid of, or at least I thought that was it. But like really kind of having that realization really kind of freaked me out. And I really started to imagine, like, what was the moment of death going to be like? How, what would happen when I die? How would it feel? And because I have a very active imagination, being a writer and everything, it was kind of tying me up in knots. And I ended up having to actively not let my brain go down that path of thinking. And I realized that that many years ago, the gods had warned me that you cannot dwell in the house of death all the time, or you would forget to live. And it was so true. It's like, oh, now I understand what they're talking about. But I also realized that I couldn't not talk about death and dying and the realities of how to die well. Because, I mean, it's my vocation, right? And I've led many Samhain rituals so that our community can grieve for others. I've had the gift of witnessing my great aunt's passing and the passing of even some strangers when I was doing volunteer work at the hospital. I've seen some things in that process spiritually that not everybody really gets to see or wants to see. And I've also dealt with spirits of the dead who frequently, come through our house, or, come when we celebrate the ancestors at Samhain, or, just kind of randomly come in during magic ritual time, And so I tend to talk about death a lot, and it's hard for some other people to hear that from me a lot. And so I try to kind of tone it down unless I'm with people who understand that about my vocation. But so when I think about it, it was kind of inevitable that I had to think about my own. I've had to accept that not only will I die, me, but my loved ones will too. And I've already had several wonderful people I know pass this year. And I know that there'll be more as I get older. So I so I've been listening to David Bowie's last album, Black Star, and I was listening to it while writing this. And I think, like my great aunt's passing, where I was able to kind of have a glimpse into what she saw in her moment of passage, I think David Bowie's music in that album was kind of that same kind of gift to everybody. Because I was listening to it last night and it was just like, wow, he gave us a musical insight on how to face our own mortality and accept it. And the lyrics are weird. I mean, David Bowie, right? But they're weird and scary and confusing, but also has some hints of joy in there and some hints of peace. And it's just kind of how death is, right? It's a passage that's just as complicated as birth is, really. And accepting that doesn't mean that death isn't scary or confusing or weird or hard, or that it won't freak you out. It means that you accept that all of that will happen to you eventually. I accept that I will die, and that between now and when that happens, I need to remember that I need to have a good life. I need to find joy and happiness and, have love and be with my loved ones. And then, when I'm with others when they pass, I need to know that the way they are dying, that the way they are passing, the way they interact before those final days is just how it will be. And it's not easy. Death isn't easy. Birth isn't easy, right? They're kind of two sides of the same coin. And it's painful in a lot of ways. And it's peaceful in others, strangely enough. And facing that and like really thinking about that can kind of ease some of that weirdness and ease some of that pain. But it's, you're never not going to have pain upon somebody else's passage or even your own. And and talking about this well before that time doesn't dilute the mystery of it, but it normalizes the idea that, yeah, death is going to happen. Death will happen. And as a society, we tend not to acknowledge that or not do it very well. Especially, in the US, we tend to do a lot of things in the US to kind of push back age, push back death. We want to be immortal. I mean, you think about like the popularity of vampires, right? The idea of living forever and being young forever. And as much as I love vampire stories, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're great. But I think we tend to stagnate our lives when we don't accept that death is going to happen. And we don't do the things we want to do. We don't eat cake. We don't try a painting or write that novel or climb that mountain or swim in the Dead Sea or anything like that. We don't do things that make life worth living because we're just so afraid of dying. And like the Spirit said, we can't dwell in the house of death all the time. But we do need to be able to visit from time to time so that we can prepare ourselves for it, but that we can also know what is the joy and beauty of life at the same time. So that we know it it's like witches usually say is like, you need to see the darkness so that you can really see the light. I know that's a pretty intense, but I think these sermons are going to be fairly intense anyway. So, Spirit of all, let us accept and acknowledge the cycle of life, that we will pass from this life into whatever's next. May we, even in the weirdness of all of that emotion around it, may we find some peace, may we find some comfort, that the cycle of life continues. And yeah, right, definitely. So, if you would take up your bread-like object, whatever that may be, I'm a little cracker heart, and your fluid of whatever that may be, could be tea or juice or whatever. I have a little water in here. Blessed be the fruit of the earth, of life, the wheat and the harvest. May we be nourished by the Spirit through this time where death is coming upon us. These are good crackers. Blessed be the blood of the earth, water, fruit, juice, that which sustains us and keeps us going and washes us clean. Okay, swallowed the rum white, but we're good now. May this sacred meal nourish us so you and I can nourish and care for others. So, thank you to Jesus, and thank you to Hecate. Thank you to the spirits of earth, water, fire, and air. And thank you for joining me today. Hi, Ray. And may you go in peace and blessed be. So, you're very welcome, Ray. How you doing? All right. So when oh, sure. Just ping me whenever. Yeah, just you could either ping me through Google Hangouts or Facebook or wherever. I'm also on WhatsApp, Skype. What else? What other chat? I'm on Discord. I don't know if you're on that. So yeah, just ping me whenever. I'm usually around, like 90% of the time. Sure. Ooh, excuse me. WhatsApp and Discord will probably be fastest and easier to deal with. But like I said, I also have Google Hangouts too, so any one of those really would work best. Excellent. We can do that. Yeah, let's see. Daytime there, I think, is between like The best times for you to talk to me when we're both kind of equally up is probably between this time, so about 4 p.m. my time till about 11 p.m. ish. So that's about, yeah. Yeah. Sounds like a plan. Wednesdays are usually no good, and Mondays are usually kind of a bust, but most other days I'm pretty much. Oh, Monday mornings we have German lessons, and Thursday morning we have German lessons till about noontime. So noon my time. So any other days, that's fine. Any other time's fine. Hang on. Let me get the calendar up. Yeah, anytime on Friday. I'm usually up about 10 a.m. my time, and I usually go to bed around 10ish p.m. my time. Fabu. Yeah, you don't want to see that. It's kind of ugly. Kind of like a mama bear when I get up. But yeah, we could do chat or video chat. I'm fine either way. Video is probably easier to explain stuff because typing is kind of a pain in the butt when you're trying to explain things. Yeah, I mean we okay. Yeah, that's cool. And we do have a cleaning lady that comes in from 10 until 10 till about 2. But I can just go in my office, and so that's not a big deal while she's cleaning. Fabu. All right. Well, I'm gonna end the stream here, so I will talk to you on Friday. Yay. And you have a good couple of days. Now I gotta go do my German homework. See you later.